Maya Collins sat in the back row of the classroom, her notebook open and pen ready. She looked like any other 17-year-old girl, with her bright smile and cheerful eyes. Her blonde hair was tied back in a simple ponytail, and she wore the standard blue uniform of the Galactic Military Academy. To anyone watching, she seemed excited to be there. The classroom was filled with cadets from different worlds. Tall, gray-skinned Krillians sat next to smaller green Xanthari beings. A few humans were scattered around the room, but Maya was the youngest by far. Most of the other species looked at her with curiosity. Some seemed to wonder why such a young human girl was at a military academy. Commander Vexter walked into the room. He was a Rigel warrior, covered in scars from many battles. His forearms moved with practiced grace as he set down his teaching materials. When he spoke, his voice was deep and commanding. "Today we will study the Battle of Proxima Station," he announced. This was one of the most important space battles in recent history. The defenders were outnumbered 5-1, yet they won. Maya raised her hand. "Commander, may I ask a question?" Vexter looked at her with mild interest. "Yes." Cadet Collins, the defenders had 12 ships, right? But the attackers had 60. That's not 5-1. That's exactly 5-1 in terms of ships. But what about crew numbers and firepower ratings? The commander paused. Most first-year cadets would never think about such details. The crew numbers were indeed different, Cadet. How did you know? To ask about that? Maya smiled innocently. I just like to read about battles in my free time. I was curious about the math. Several alien students turned to look at her. A massive Krillian named Torgash chuckled. "Little human likes war stories," he said in his broken common tongue. "Very cute." After class, Maya walked to the cafeteria with a roommate, Zara Keith. The draconian girl was twice Maya's size, with scales that changed color based on her mood. Right now, they were a calm blue-green. "You ask many smart questions in class," Zarakith said. "Where do you learn these things?" Maya shrugged as she picked up her lunch tray. "I've always been interested in military history. My dad used to tell me stories when I was little. Your father was soldier?" "Something like that," Maya said, still smiling. She didn't mention that she had never known her father, or that the memories of military tactics in her head came from somewhere else entirely. They sat at a table with other cadets. A young Xanthari named Clickster was struggling with his tactical studies homework. Maya glanced at his tablet and saw the problem. "You might want to try a flanking maneuver here," she suggested gently. "See how the enemy has their heavy units in the center? If you move your fast ships around to the side, you can hit their weak spot." Clickster's large eyes blinked rapidly. "How do you see this so quickly? I have been working on this for 2 hours. "Just lucky, I guess," Maya said, taking a bite of her sandwich. Later that afternoon, the cadets had their first combat simulation. They were divided into teams and given practice weapons that fired harmless energy beams. The goal was simple: capture the enemy flag while defending your own. Maya's team included Torgash, 2 other humans named Jake and Lisa, and a quiet vegan called Silara. Their opponents were led by a confident Krillian warrior named Kexthan, who had been bragging about his family's military tradition all week. "Okay, team," Jake said, trying to take charge. "I think we should rush their position. We have Torgash, so we can overpower them." Maya spoke up softly. "Actually, they're expecting that. Kexthan has positioned his team for a direct assault. See how they're bunched up behind that barrier? If we split into 2 groups and come from different angles, we can confuse them." "Little. Maya thinks she knows strategy," Torgash laughed, but not unkindly. "Okay, small human. We try your way." The simulation began. Maya moved through the training area like she had done this 1,000 times before. She stayed low, used cover effectively, and seemed to know exactly where the enemies would be. When Silara got pinned down by enemy fire, Maya appeared behind the attackers and eliminated them with precise shots. Her team won easily. As they walked back to the preparation area, Lisa stared at Maya with surprise. "Where did you learn to move like that?" she asked. "You were like a ghost out there." Maya's cheeks turned pink. "I watch a lot of training videos online. Plus, I play strategy games on my tablet." That evening, Maya sat in her dorm room while Zarakith studied at her desk. The draconian scales had shifted to a puzzled yellow color. "Maya," she said finally, "you are a very strange human." "Strange how?" Maya asked, looking up from her own tablet, where she was reading about ancient Earth battles. "You are so young and happy, like little child. But in simulation today, you moved like experienced warrior. And your questions in class ... They are not questions of beginner." Maya closed her tablet and smiled. "Maybe I'm just a fast learner." But Zarakith wasn't convinced. Neither were some of the other cadets. During the weeks that followed, Maya continued to excel in ways that seemed impossible for someone her age. She always knew the right tactical move, could spot weaknesses in enemy formations instantly, and moved in combat simulations with deadly efficiency. Yet outside of training, she remained the same cheerful, helpful girl. She helped struggling classmates with their studies, shared her snacks, and always had an encouraging word for anyone feeling homesick. The contradiction puzzled everyone. Commander Vexter began to notice too. During one particularly difficult exercise, Maya had suggested a strategy that even he hadn't considered. When he asked her about it afterward, she claimed she had read about something similar in an old history book. "Which book?" he asked. Double quotes. I don't remember the exact title," Maya said, her smile never wavering. "I read so many of them." The commander made a note in her file that night. There was something about Cadet Collins that didn't add up. She was either the most gifted natural tactician he had ever seen, or she was hiding something important. As Maya lay in her bed that night, listening to Zarakith's soft breathing, she wondered how much longer she could keep up the act. The innocent schoolgirl routine was getting harder to maintain. Every day brought new challenges that tested her ability to appear normal. She touched the small device hidden behind her ear, invisible to casual observation. It was connected to systems that no one at the academy could imagine. Inside her mind, thousands of years of human military knowledge waited to be used. But for now, she was just Maya Collins, the friendly human girl who liked to read about battles. Tomorrow would bring new tests, new questions, and new opportunities to prove that. Sometimes the most dangerous warriors wore the brightest smiles. 3 months had passed since Maya Collins started at the academy. She had settled into a comfortable routine of classes, training, and maintaining her cheerful reputation. Her classmates had grown used to her helpful nature and innocent questions. That somehow always hit the right points. The peaceful routine ended on a Tuesday morning when alarms started blaring throughout the academy. Red lights flashed in the corridors as cadets hurried to emergency assembly points. Commander Vexter's voice echoed through the speakers. "All cadets report to the main hall immediately. This is not a drill." Maya walked calmly to the assembly hall while other students ran around her in confusion. Inside, she felt a familiar stirring like an old machine starting up after a long sleep. She pushed the feeling down and kept her worried expression in place. The main hall was filled with nervous energy. Cadets from all species whispered to each other in their native languages. Commander Vexter stood on the stage with several other instructors, all looking serious. "Listen carefully," the commander began. 1 hour ago, the civilian transport ship Golden Dawn was attacked by pirates near the outer edge of our system. The ship is carrying 300 passengers, including families with children. The hall fell silent. pirate attacks were rare in this sector, but when they happened, they were usually brutal. The pirates are from the Crimson Fleet, Vexter continued. They have taken the ship and are demanding ransom. Our regular fleet is too far away to respond in time. However, this presents us with a real training opportunity. Maya felt her pulse quicken, but not from fear. Something deeper was awakening. Senior, cadets will join a rescue mission aboard the training vessel UCS Horizon. This will be your first real combat situation. Volunteers only. Hands shot up around the hall. Torgash raised all 4 of his arms enthusiastically. Zarakith's scales turned bright red with excitement. Maya slowly raised her hand to Commander Vexter looked surprised when he saw her. Cadet Collins, are you certain? This is not a simulation. Yes, sir, Maya said with her usual bright smile. I want to help those people. 2 hours later, Maya stood in the equipment bay of the UCS Horizon. The training ship was smaller than a real warship, but it still impressed her classmates. She ran her hand along the wall, and for a moment, her innocent expression slipped. She looked like someone who had been on ships like this many times before. Maya, are you okay? Lisa asked. The human girl was checking her equipment nervously. Just excited, Maya replied, putting her smile back in place. The mission briefing took place in the ship's conference room. Commander Vexter used a holographic display to show them the situation. A golden dawn was drifting in space, surrounded by 3 pirate vessels. The pirates are using old Corvan raiders, he explained. Fast but lightly armored. They probably have about 60 fighters total. Maya studied the display carefully. Something bothered her about the formation. Commander, she said, raising her hand. Yes, Cadet Collins? Those aren't Corvan raiders. The engine signatures are wrong. Those are modified Teshin interceptors. They're much faster than Corvan ships. And they have better shields. The room went quiet. Vexter stared at her. How can you tell the difference from this distance? Maya felt every eye in the room on her. She had made a mistake, shown too much knowledge. I read about ship identification in my free time. The engine glow patterns are different between the 2 types. The commander looked at his sensor readings again. After a moment, his expression changed. You're correct, Cadet. These are indeed Teshin interceptors. How did you know that? Lucky guess? Maya said weakly. But now several cadets were looking at her strangely. Clickster whispered something to another Zenthari in their clicking language. The mission began badly. As they approached the Golden Dawn, the pirates detected them much sooner than expected. The modified interceptors were faster and more maneuverable than anyone had planned for. All cadets to battle stations, Vexter ordered as the ship shook. From enemy fire, Maya moved through the corridors with smooth efficiency. While other cadets stumbled or hesitated, she seemed to know exactly where to go. When they reached the boarding pods, she was the first one ready. Maya, stay back, Jake said as they prepared to board the civilian ship. Let the bigger guys go first. But when the shooting started, Maya was already moving. She flowed through the Golden Dawn's corridors like water, always in the right position, never wasting a movement. Her practice weapon found targets with deadly accuracy. A group of pirates had trapped some passengers in the dining hall. Maya appeared behind them so quietly that they never knew she was there until they were down. She freed the hostages and moved on before anyone could thank her. How did she do that? One of the rescued passengers asked Lisa. Lisa didn't have an answer. She was starting to wonder the same thing. The mission's turning point came when their squad leader, a confident Krillian named Hexstar, was wounded by enemy fire. The cadets found themselves pinned down in a service corridor with pirates advancing from both ends. We're trapped, Torgash growled, his weapon overheating from constant firing. Maya looked at the situation for exactly 3 seconds. Then she started giving orders. Torgash, take Lisa and Silara down that side passage. Circle around to section 100 to 7. Zarakith, you and Jake create a distraction here. Keep them focused on this position. Maya, what are you talking about? Jake asked. You can't just trust me, Maya said. Her voice had changed. The cheerful, uncertain tone was gone. Now she sounded like someone who had commanded soldiers before. I know what I'm doing. Something in her voice made them listen. They followed her orders without thinking about it. Maya's plan worked perfectly. The pirates found themselves surrounded and confused. Within minutes, the corridor was secure. But now her classmates were staring at her with new eyes. Where did you learn to do that? Zarakith asked, her scales showing confusion. Do what? Maya said, trying to put her innocent smile back on. Give orders like a real commander. Move like a trained soldier. Fight like you've done it before. Maya felt the weight of their stares. She had revealed too much, acted too much like what she really was. I just watch a lot of training videos. But nobody believed that anymore. The mission ended successfully. All the hostages were rescued, and the pirates were captured. As they flew back to the academy, Maya sat alone in the corner of the transport, pretending to read on her tablet. She could feel her classmates watching her, whispering about her. Commander Vexther approached her. Cadet Collins, I need to speak with you. Did I do something wrong, sir? That's what I'm trying to figure out, he said quietly. Your performance today was unusual. You showed tactical knowledge and combat skills far beyond what any first-year cadet should possess. Maya's heart pounded, but she kept her expression innocent. I just tried to help, sir. Help, yes. But how does a 17-year-old girl know advanced small unit tactics? How do you identify ship types that most senior officers couldn't recognize? And how do you move in combat like someone with years of experience? I don't know what you mean, sir, Maya said, but her voice sounded weak even to herself. Vexther studied her face. I've been a soldier for 40 years, Cadet Collins. I know when someone is hiding something. The question is, what exactly are you hiding? Maya looked up at him with her biggest, most innocent smile. I'm just a girl who likes to read about battles, sir. Nothing more. But as she said it, she knew her time of hiding was running out. Her classmates suspected something. Her instructors were asking questions. And deep inside her mind, systems that had been dormant were starting to wake up. The innocent schoolgirl act was becoming harder to maintain. Soon, she would have to choose between keeping her secret and protecting the people she had started to care about. The real Maya Collins was about to emerge, and the galaxy wasn't ready for what she truly was. The days after the rescue mission were strange for Maya. Her classmates looked at her differently now. Some seemed afraid, others curious. The easy friendships she had built were becoming complicated. Torgash still treated her kindly, but even he seemed confused. Little Maya is not so little, I think, he said one day during lunch. You fight like warrior, but you look like child. Maya tried to laugh it off. I just got lucky out there. But Zarakith wasn't buying it anymore. Her scales had been stuck on a worried purple color for days. Maya, we are friends, yes? Friends tell truth to each other. I always tell you the truth, Maya said, but the words felt heavy in her mouth. The whispers followed her everywhere. In the corridors, cadets would stop talking when she walked by. During classes, she caught other students staring at her when they thought she wasn't looking. Even some of the instructors seemed suspicious. The breaking point came on a Thursday morning. Maya had been called to the Academy's medical center for what they said was a routine checkup. She knew better, but she went anyway, keeping her innocent smile in place. Dr. Halvin was waiting for her. He was a Mindari, one of the few telepathic species in the galaxy. His large, silver eyes could see into people's thoughts, though he usually kept that ability tightly controlled for privacy reasons. "Please sit down, Maya," he said gently. "This won't take long." Maya sat in the chair across from his desk. She could feel him probing at the edges of her mind, testing her mental defenses. She let him see what he expected to see, a young girl's thoughts about homework, friends, and homesickness. But Dr. Halvin was more skilled than she had expected. His mental touch grew stronger, pushing deeper into her consciousness. Maya tried to maintain her barriers, but it was like trying to hold back an ocean with her bare hands. "Interesting," the doctor murmured. "Your mind has some unusual patterns." "Maya, very unusual." She felt him push harder, and suddenly her defenses cracked. For just a moment, Dr. Halvin touched the real contents of her mind. The doctor's eyes went wide with shock. He jumped back from his desk as if he had been burned. His hands shook as he stared at her. What are you?" he whispered. Maya's innocent expression finally cracked. The cheerful mask she had worn for months fell away, replaced by something cold and calculating. "That's a very good question, Doctor. Your mind. It's not possible. I saw memories of battles that happened centuries ago. Knowledge of weapons and tactics that no human should possess. And underneath it all," he paused, his voice trembling. "You're not entirely human, are you?" Maya stood up slowly. When she moved now, there was no trace of the clumsy teenager she had pretended to be. Every step was precise, controlled, dangerous. "I suppose there's no point in pretending anymore," she said. Her voice had changed too. Gone was the high, cheerful tone. Now she sounded older, more confident. "Though I had hoped to keep this secret a little longer." "What are you?" Dr. Halvin asked again. Maya walked to the window and looked out at the academy grounds. Students were crossing the courtyard between classes, laughing and talking. They had no idea that their world was about to change. "My name is Maya Collins, and that part is true. But I'm not 17 years old. I'm not really a student. And I'm definitely not just a human girl who likes to read about battles." She turned back to face the doctor. "I am the result of humanity's most classified project. They took the memories and knowledge of every great military leader in human history and combined them with advanced artificial intelligence. Then they put all of that into a body that was designed to be perfect for warfare." Dr. Halvin stared at her in horror. "You're a weapon." "I'm much more than that," Maya said. "I carry the tactical genius of Alexander the Great, the strategic mind of Napoleon Bonaparte, the guerrilla warfare knowledge of every freedom fighter who ever lived. I know how humans think, how they fight, and how they win against impossible odds. But why are you here? What is your mission?" Maya smiled, but it wasn't the innocent smile her classmates knew. This smile was sharp and dangerous. "Humanity is new to the galactic community. We want to understand how alien species fight, what their weaknesses are, how their militaries work. So they sent me to learn. You're a spy. I prefer to think of myself as a student. I really have been learning here, Doctor. Just not the lessons everyone thought." Dr. Halvin reached for his communication device, but Maya moved faster than his eyes could follow. Suddenly she was beside his desk, her hand gently but firmly stopping his movement. "I wouldn't do that if I were you," she said softly. "I like it here. I've grown attached to my classmates, even to some of the instructors. I don't want to hurt anyone. You've been lying to everyone." "Yes," Maya admitted. "But the feelings I've developed are real. Turgash really is like a big brother to me. Zarakith is the best roommate I could have asked for. Even Commander Vexther has earned my respect." "Then why reveal yourself now?" Maya let go of his hand and stepped back. "Because keeping this secret is becoming impossible. And because I think there might be bigger problems coming. Before Dr. Halvin could ask what she meant, alarms started blaring throughout the academy. Both of them looked up as the emergency lights began flashing. Commander Vexta's voice came over the speakers. All personnel to emergency stations. We have incoming ships. Unknown vessels approaching at high speed. Maya's expression hardened. It seems my secret is out. What do you mean? Those ships aren't unknown, Doctor. They're from the Hegemony, the alliance of older galactic civilizations. Somehow they've learned about me, and they've come to collect their prize. Through the window, they could see ships descending from the sky. They were sleek and powerful, clearly military vessels. Students and instructors were running across the courtyard in panic. They want me, Maya said, watching the ships land. The question is, are they planning to study me, destroy me, or use me for their own purposes? Dr. Halvin stood up on shaky legs. What will you do? Maya looked at him with an expression that was both sad and terrifying. I'm going to protect my friends. These people have been kind to me, even when I was lying to them. I won't let the Hegemony hurt them. But you're just one person against an entire fleet. Maya's smile returned, and this time it was genuinely warm. Doctor, you really don't understand what I am yet. I'm not just one person. I'm the combined military knowledge of the most warlike species in the galaxy. I'm every human general, admiral, and warrior who ever lived, all working together in one body. She walked toward the door, then paused and looked back. Besides, I've had 3 months to study this academy's defenses and the capabilities of every species here. I know exactly how to win this fight. As she left the medical center, Maya Collins, the innocent schoolgirl, was gone forever. In her place walked something far more dangerous, a legendary warrior who had been hiding behind a smile, and who was now ready to show the galaxy what humanity was truly capable of. The real battle was about to begin. Maya walked through the academy corridors as chaos erupted around her. Students ran in all directions, some crying, others trying to find safe places to hide. The Hegemony ships had landed in the main courtyard, and armed soldiers were already pouring out. She found Zarakith and Torgash in their dormitory, along with several other cadets. They were looking out the window at the invading forces with fear in their eyes. Maya, Zarakith called when she saw her. Thank the stars you are safe. We must hide until help comes. Maya looked at her friends, these beings who had accepted her and cared for her. The thought of them being hurt because of her made something cold and angry stir in her chest. No, she said quietly. We're not hiding. Torgash turned from the window. Little Maya, these are Hegemony warriors. Very dangerous. We are just students. You're just students, Maya corrected. I'm something else entirely. Before anyone could ask what she meant, the dormitory door exploded inward. 3 Hegemony soldiers in dark armor stepped through, their weapons raised. They were Vorthik, a species known for their cruelty and efficiency in battle. Where is the human called Maya Collins? The leader demanded in heavily accented common tone. She's not here, Jake said, stepping protectively in front of the younger cadets. The Vorthik soldier raised his weapon toward Jake. You lie. Our sensors detected her in this building. You're right, Maya said, stepping out from behind the others. I'm here. The soldiers turned their weapons toward her, but something in Maya's posture made them hesitate. She no longer looked like a frightened teenager. She stood like a warrior, completely calm despite the danger. You will come with us, the leader said. The Hegemony Council wishes to speak with you. I don't think so, Maya replied. What happened next shocked everyone in the room. Maya moved faster than the eye could follow. One moment she was standing still. The next moment all 3 soldiers were on the ground, their weapons scattered. She had disarmed them without even seeming to try. "How did you do that?" Lisa whispered. Maya looked at her friends, and for the first time since they had known her, her expression was completely honest. "Because I'm not who you think I am. I never was." The sound of more soldiers approaching echoed from the corridor. Maya walked to the broken door and looked out. At least 20 hegemony troops were moving through the building, searching room by room. "Stay here," she told her classmates. "Don't come out until this is over." "Maya, wait," Sarikith called. "What are you going to do?" Maya smiled, and this time it wasn't innocent or cheerful. It was the smile of someone who had never lost a battle. "I'm going to teach the hegemony why they should have left my friends alone." She stepped into the corridor and began walking toward the enemy soldiers. They saw her coming and raised their weapons, but Maya didn't run or hide. She walked forward like she owned the place. "Surrender, human," one of them shouted. "You are outnumbered." "Am I?" Maya asked. Then she began to move. Fight that followed was unlike anything the Academy had ever seen. Maya flowed through the corridors like a force of nature. She used every trick and tactic that human warriors had developed over thousands of years. She turned corners at exactly the right moment, struck from angles that her enemies never expected, and used their own weapons against them. In less than 10 minutes, every hegemony soldier in the building was unconscious or fleeing. Maya hadn't killed any of them, but she had made it very clear that she could have if she wanted to. Commander Vexter found her standing in the main corridor, surrounded by unconscious enemies. His 4 eyes were wide with amazement and fear. "Cadet Collins," he said slowly, "I think we need to talk." "I think we're past the point of talking, Commander," Maya replied. "The hegemony didn't come here to chat. They came to take me, and they're willing to hurt innocent people to do it." "What are you?" he asked, the same question Dr. Halvin had asked earlier. "I'm what happens when humanity decides to take warfare." "Seriously," Maya answered. "I'm the memory of every human soldier who ever lived, combined with technology your people can't imagine." Outside, more hegemony ships were landing. Maya could see them through the windows, bringing hundreds more soldiers. The Academy's own defenses were activating, but they weren't designed for a real war. "They'll keep coming," she said. "They won't stop until they have me, or until they're convinced I'm too dangerous to capture. So what do we do?" Maya looked at the commander, this gruff warrior who had taught her so much over the past months. "We show them what happens when someone threatens a human's friends." She walked to the Academy's command center, where other instructors were trying to coordinate their defenses. When she entered the room, conversation stopped. Everyone stared at her. "I'm taking command," she announced. "You're a student," one instructor protested. "No," Commander Vexter said quietly. "She's not. I don't know what she is, but she's not just a student." Maya moved to the main control panel and began entering commands faster than anyone could follow. Suddenly, all the Academy's defensive systems came online at once. Shields that hadn't been used in years activated. Weapon systems that most people had forgotten about began tracking targets. "How do you know those codes?" someone asked. "Because I've been watching and learning for 3 months," Maya said. "I know every system in this academy better than the people who built it." The battle began in earnest. Hegemony forces attacked from all sides, but Maya anticipated every move. She directed the Academy's defenses like a master conductor leading an orchestra. Energy blasts that should have hit their targets missed by inches. Attacks that seemed overwhelming were turned back with precise counterstrikes. But Maya wasn't just commanding machines. She was commanding people too. Through the Academy's communication system, she gave orders to students and instructors alike. Her voice was calm and confident, and people found themselves following her orders without question. "Torgash, take your squad to Section 7. The hegemony will try to breach there in 30 seconds. Zarakith, lead the younger students to the safe zones. Use Corridor 3, not Corridor 2. Trust me. Commander Vexter, activate the emergency shields around the medical center. Dr. Halvane will need protection. Every order was perfect. Every prediction came true. The hegemony forces found themselves fighting an enemy who seemed to know their every move before they made it. The turning point came when the hegemony commander, a proud Zenthari general named Korthvek, demanded to speak with Maya directly. His image appeared on the Academy's main screen. "Human weapon," he said with disgust. "You have caused enough trouble. Surrender now, and we will spare the others." Maya appeared on his screen in return. "General Korthvek, I've read about your campaigns against the Outer Rim colonies. Impressive work, though I would have handled the siege of Kepler Prime differently." The general's eyes widened. "How do you know about that?" "Because I know everything about warfare, General. Every battle, every strategy, every mistake, including the ones you're making right now. You are one being against our entire fleet," Maya smiled. "General, do you know what humans call it when one person faces impossible odds to protect thee? People they care about? Foolishness." "We call it Tuesday," Maya said. "And this particular Tuesday, you picked the wrong human to threaten." The final phase of the battle was swift and decisive. Maya turned the Academy's training facilities into weapons, used the geological features of the planet itself as tactical advantages, and coordinated a defense that made the hegemony forces look like amateurs. When it was over, General Korthvek's fleet was retreating, and Maya stood in the Academy's courtyard, surrounded by her friends and classmates. They looked at her with new eyes, finally seeing her for what she truly was. "So," Torgash said finally, "little Maya is not so little." Maya laughed, and for the first time in months, the sound was completely genuine. "I'm still your friend, Torgash." That part was never a lie. Zarakith approached carefully. "Will you stay with us?" Maya looked around at the faces surrounding her. These beings from different worlds had accepted her, fought beside her, and trusted her even when they didn't understand her. "If you'll have." She said, "though I think we'll need to change my academic records. I'm pretty sure I just tested out of all my classes." Commander Vexter stepped forward. "Maya Collins, or whatever your real name is, I hereby offer you a position as a tactical instructor at this academy." "My real name is Maya Collins," she said. "And yes, I'd like that very much." As the sun set over the academy, Maya stood with her friends and realized something important. She had been created to be a weapon, designed to fight humanity's battles. But in pretending to be human, she had become something more. She had become someone worth being. The legendary warrior no longer needed to hide behind a schoolgirl's smile. She could be both the weapon and the friend, the soldier and the student. And maybe, just maybe, that was exactly what the galaxy needed.